Hey, it says we're live. Hey guys, I'm Jeff here with eBay Addicts, and today my special guest is the bearded picker, buddy. Introduce yourself, Scott.
Yeah, I'm Scott. How y'all doing? uh, yeah, I'm eBay, Amazon. I generally travel a lot. Just with COVID, kind of shut that down. So, but I've been reselling full time since 2013. So,
Yeah, awesome. So, how's things been? Did you go to that big, long, world's largest yard sale? Did you end up going to that? How did that go?
I put it on Instagram. I just sold the best thing that I found. It's called a Raytech gym faceter. I didn't know what it was. It was just a big piece of equipment with a bunch of tools. And so I looked it up on the phone. You know, a lot of people go, "Oh, don't use your phone at yard sales." I'm the exact opposite, man. You can't pass something. You've made all the effort to get there. And so I looked it up, and I'm like, this thing sells from anywhere from $900 to $3,000. I'm like, what do y'all want for this thing? And she said, well, it was given to us, and my dad looked it up, and he said, ask $50 for it. I'm like, I'll give you 40. I'll give you 40. And they go, all right, $40. It closed out last night for 11.26.
Awesome. So you paid $40 for it, and you said you sold it for 11.46 or 26.
11.26.
Awesome.
I make probably $950 to $1,000 on that one item.
Right. That sounds like a good deal right there. So what have you been up to over this holiday weekend? Did you have any plans, or you just been working around the house?
Did yard sale Saturday. It didn't. My life doesn't change any. We did. My buddy Harley, we went to yard sale Saturday. We went to a flea market Friday. We met up with, there were like 6 of us went to the flea market. And then this morning, there's a local auction here. And so I went and dropped some things off. It's a consignment auction. So it'll run next week. And I've just been hanging out the rest of the day. I've been kind of lazy.
All right. So how has your sales been on both? Because you're on both Amazon and eBay. How has your sales been ever since things got shut with this whole lockdown thing? Was it been up? Has it been down? Has it been kind of steady, or how's it been?
July 14th, I passed last year.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're on pace this year to double what you did last year, is what you're saying?
Correct.
Awesome.
I've slowed down some now just because just haven't pushed as hard because I don't know. There's something about if you don't have to, you know, I'm continuing to work. I'm continuing to list and do things every day. But the sense of urgency is kind of not with me right now.
So Scott, how many days a week do you usually list on eBay? And could you tell us a little bit about your about how your Amazon store is going?
I list on eBay. I'm trying to do a minimum 5 a day because I went almost 9 months without listing on eBay. I still got 600 some listings that were just up. But in the last 2.5 weeks, I've listed like 220, 230 listings. So, and that's really spiked the sales. You know, it's amazing that you can ignore eBay for so long and then all of a sudden start listing and then bam, the sales come right back. You list decent stuff at a decent price and your sales come right back. So, but yeah, Amazon, I've struggled with Amazon because I haven't gotten enough stuff in. So my sales keep going like this, up and down, up and down. So right now I'm in a lull. I've got boxes sitting right beside me that are go to UPS tomorrow. I'm working on, I've got 3 more listings I got set up for eBay, and then I'm gonna do Amazon the rest of the night. Probably till midnight.
All right. Right. So do you do mostly FBA, or you've been doing a little bit of the fulfilled by merchant as well?
Any other year, I would tell you I'm 99% FBA, but this year, the advantage of doing fulfilled by merchant was so great that the problem is once they started restricting what you could send in, and what they consider to be essential goods, everything else was still selling. Nobody could get. So for fulfilled by merchant, I'm very fortunate that I have built a shipping station over here that have, you know, tape machines and everything set up to ship a lot. And so I just shifted gears, and people need to understand that.
Yeah.
When life happens, you've got 2 choices. you can sit around and cry about it, or you can figure out how to make it work for you. And I generally try to figure it out.
Guys, you were live with Bearded Picker, so if you guys want to drop comments in the comment section or ask questions, he's here hanging out with us on the live stream. Yeah, Bearded Picker, I just want to tell you, buddy, you're one of my favorite YouTubers, man. I was like watching your videos, and when I see you doing those videos, you're traveling out of town and you're going to like different stores like Walgreens and Dollar General and stuff and getting items to in order to resell on eBay and Amazon and traveling and staying in hotels. I'm like, man, I wish I could do that. I want to be like Scott. I just think it's awesome that you had your laptop, you had your little scanner gun, and you're like, man, I can go ahead and scan all these items in right now and list them all at this hotel and then wake up tomorrow and do it again. And it's just nice to be able to kind of be your own boss, set your own work schedule and all that. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I've been in 41 states since I started. I started Amazon early 2014. I did eBay a full-time year before that. And it was really the eBay kind of spawned the Amazon as I was doing eBay. And, I was doing a lot of yard sales, the Goodwills that I was living in Wilmington, North Carolina at the time. And I'm like, I need more stuff. And so I started looking at maps, and Raleigh, North Carolina they must have 20 Goodwills. And so I'm like, all right, I'll just go up there and then come back. And once I got into Amazon, there's only so much you can buy. If you're buying with Amazon, you can buy so much of the same item, because if I hit a Walgreens trip to Raleigh, that's 40 Walgreens. That's so it's hard to get with traffic and everything. It's hard to get to 40, and so I'm like, I'll just spend the night and then drag it all back. And then that progressed to, I want to go farther. Then it became the Norfolk. Then it became, I can get all the way up to DC. And so the trips just got longer. And so you figure out how to send it in, because once you start realizing when you're doing shipments on Amazon, you just change your address on Inventory Lab, and they adjust your shipping and they adjust the warehouse, and it just goes to a different warehouse. You empty everything you've got and you keep going, and for me, I have trouble when I get back home, motivate myself, because I've worked so much when I'm out. And so it worked to my strengths. When I was out there by myself, I ship everything. I stay up all night. It don't matter. I struggle with more discipline when I'm at home, but on the road, it was just something that worked for me. You got to play to your strengths. That's one thing that I try to tell people, is don't do it because somebody else does. You got to do it your way in order to figure out what works for you, because you know how you work. You know what makes you tick. You know what motivates you. So
yeah. So Bearded Picker, I was going to ask you some questions. When I'm not on Amazon right now, I've got 2 eBay stores. I'm not on Amazon at the moment. So when I've heard that when people ship in boxes into Amazon, they can either ship it all into one warehouse, or you have it go into multiple different warehouses.
That's a half truth. Okay, so you've got 2 options. The one is distributed inventory, which is they will tell you where they want it to go, and it could be split up. Once you get above the number 18, it's not written down anywhere, but that's like a magic number. All those will go to one warehouse. Or you can do the inventory placement, and that only guarantees that one item. So if you've got 3 of an item, it can go to one warehouse. But if you do the next item, they can make you send it to another warehouse. So there's no guarantee that it generally does, but there's no guarantee that you all go to one warehouse. But it only guarantees that the like items go together. So.
Okay. Now I got a question. So at your house, do you have like a big garage or a big warehouse to store all your inventory there at your house? And how does that work at your residence where you keep all your merchandise?
So we built this house, or we didn't build this house. We bought this house knowing that it had enough space to put I'm in a separate 2-car garage. And so when the contractor built it, I told him what I wanted. And so it's insulated out here like a house. The walls are insulated. So I just I've got a window unit so this is a 2-car garage. It's 22 by 28, somewhere in there. And the other garage is full. So I've got a storage building that's full. I generally subscribe to the model that, the problem with buying clearance for Amazon is it's available to everyone. And so you either got to be to do the Ricky Bobby school of reselling. You got to be first or last. You know, if you're
Yeah.
in the middle, you're getting beat up by, you know, a lot of people will tell you it's price droppers. I'm going to tell you that's not the. I'm going to tell you that the people who blame it on price droppers don't understand economics, and they either skip that class or they fell asleep during it because it was so boring. But it's just supply and demand. As more of the supply is available to more sellers, they're going to lower the prices. Naturally going to come down. So you've either got to be at the beginning when there's not as much, or at the end when there's not as much. In the middle when the supply brings the price down. It happens in every except for unless the company controls it, like an Apple, who tells you what you can sell it for and when you can put it on sale. Most items in a free market, supply and demand is what pushes it.
Right,
So,
right. So yeah, I went to the clearance the other day at Walmart and got a bunch of video games to resell on eBay. But I was, I do see sometimes there's like they have a race to the bottom. But then I'm like, you know what? Q4 is coming up. Christmas is around the corner. All these are going to sell out between now and Christmas. They're all brand new in the shrink wrap. I'm going to go ahead and grab them. So somebody in the chat they asked, they said, which platform is number one, eBay or Amazon? You did make a video about that not too long ago, didn't you?
yeah, and it really depends on what you a lot of it is where you're at, what's available in your area. If you're in a rural area and you're not willing to go to these bigger areas to buy a lot of stuff, your chances are, if you're going to do retail arbitrage, it's going to be tough. But you can still do wholesale, you can still do online arbitrage if those are your models. But I love eBay. I love the hunt for eBay. Amazon makes me a lot of money. And so just because the difference is Amazon is built to be scalable, I can do a lot more as one person, because once I send it in, I'm done with it. I don't have to worry about being at home to ship it. The inventory, it's stored. They take care of it. Whereas everybody who's an eBay seller knows, if you sell something, you have to be here or have somebody ship it. And so that's the toughest part is the inventory. And so Amazon for me just works out better for me because it allows me to get a lot more sales for one person.
Yeah, I think you said in your video that you can have, sometimes you get higher margins on eBay, but on Amazon the frequency is faster, right? You can the sell-through rate is quicker and you got more users on the platform, right?
Yeah, it's the faster is a good example. It was a one-shot deal. It's $40 into 11.26. Or an Amazon is, you're looking just to double up. So if it's a $5 item, if you sell it for 16 or 17, you're gonna make your $5, $6, $7, but you might sell 30, 40, 50, 100 of them. And so it's a different mindset. The products are, you can still sell a lot of retail arbitrage. I do it on eBay. The velocity is just so much different. There are so many more customers on Amazon and they buy a ton.
Right. I like your shirt today, Scott. It's nice. I like your Five Finger Death Punch shirt, man. It's awesome. So
yeah, my brother and I saw them in November. They came through here.
Oh, and,
yeah, before everything went crazy. I'm like, dude, we're gonna be the oldest ones there. It turns out there's a bunch of us. The band is our age. Everybody out there was our age. They were a lot of fun. They had 3 days grace with them too. So and I think Bad Wolves was with them too.
Yeah. So it sounded like you had a great time, didn't you?
Oh yeah, it was an awesome show.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah.
My brother had a lot more fun than I did, man. He was drunk. Ooh.
Me and my brother, we went to go see Five Finger Death Punch one time, and we're jumping in the crowd, and the whole crowd turns into a big like mosh pit, right? And so the lead singer, he jumps off the stage in the middle of the show and jumps into the mosh pit, and he's running into people while singing the song in the concert, bro. So I've been there before.
And if
was crazy.
If you don't pay attention to him, if you're not fans of Five Finger Death Punch, this dude is like 5'2", maybe $125 soaking wet. So he's a little guy to jump.
Yeah, he jumps into the mosh pit. Yeah, so we're all in the mosh pit, and we look over, and here's the lead singer of the band jumping in the mosh pit, and he's running and shoulder butting people in the middle of this mosh pit while singing in the middle of the concert, bro. So it was awesome. But somebody in the chat just asked, they wanted to know, how is Joni and how is your son doing?
They're great. except for that little pesty dog we just got. She's biting everything. We've got an 8-week-old puppy, and she, man, she is. My fingers are gonna have scars from this one. But yeah, for those you don't know, my wife, she's little right at a year and a half from beating breast cancer. She fought it for a year. Very fortunate that she found it herself and caught it early enough. So she is in recovery, and she gets checked every 3 months now. So she just had a check. So she's doing very well. The kid just graduated college. He's struggling a little bit because the job market, even though all these jobs are coming back, the high tech, he's got an aerospace engineering degree, and that high tech stuff is still not quite recovered. So it's coming back, and we anticipate, he'll be employed shortly, but he lives at home with mom and daddy, so it doesn't matter much.
All right. So somebody else in the chat, they said, do you sometimes buy huge lots of merchandise that doesn't end up selling? If so, what do you do with it? What happens to the merchandise?
Everything sells. Usually the reason why it doesn't sell is because it's sitting here with me. You gotta have an out for everything, and I was very fortunate that I was able to get a table at this auction now. So for the next every other week, I'm going to take stuff to auction. It's extremely important to understand. If I needed to, I'd have gone and set up at the flea market instead of going to it. Think about what you're going to do with stuff. Right now I am overloaded. So that's the other reason why I haven't traveled last month, and I'm not going to travel the rest of this month much. It's just because I'm concentrating on trying to get everything I've already bought out of here, and then I'll go back to doing what I was doing.
Awesome. So how much stuff do you have right now in inventory that's just sitting there? I mean, is all the stuff listed right now on eBay or Amazon? Like, how much? You have a huge death pile? Tell us the story.
I've probably got $16,000 or $17,000 worth of stuff just sitting here.
Really? That you haven't got to yet?
And you got to realize I buy clearance and I buy discontinued. So this, that's probably $60,000 worth of stuff at full price, just sitting around.
Yeah. Well, go ahead.
The storage building I've got, it's a 10 by 15, and the Lowe's moving boxes, the large ones, there are 17 boxes full of Walgreens clearance and another 10 or 12 full of Walmart clearance that are there. That just has to be, I was waiting for that to come there. It's all in the money now. So that's the stuff that I'm shipping in right now.
Right. So, Scott, I was going to ask you a couple of questions. Tell me a little bit about your life before you became a full-time eBay and Amazon seller. Like, what were you? I know you told me, I think I watched your video. You said you used to work in retail. You were a retail manager at one point. Can you talk a little bit about your life and what led you to switching over to becoming a full-time reseller?
So I worked restaurant management. So I did fast food restaurants for 25 years. I did everything from working in high school, worked through college, and then I've been a district manager. I've been everything from the weekend opener to the district manager, and I changed companies about every 5 years, 6 years. And this last time, the thought occurred to me, you're miserable in your job. It happens every 5 years. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's not the job. Maybe it's me. Maybe I need to change what I'm doing. And so I walked away. And my wife's like, now what are you going to do? I'm like, well, I'm pretty good at selling on eBay, and I can pass that over until I figure out what I really want to do in my life, at 40, whatever I was. And I'm like, wait, this is way fun. And it's amazing. Whenever I'm a person that really thrives with pressure. So when the pressure's on me to perform, and I'm okay with living my results. And so I realized I was very good at learning and selling. I started with clothing on eBay. I'd always piddled at the yard sales. I've been to yard sales my whole life. And, the enjoyment, and you can see a change in myself. I like to tell the story. My mother, we used to live across the street from my mother, and I'd gone to Raleigh on one of the trips, and she does this. I got the yard sales and stuff from her, and she said, I want to go with you on one of these trips. So she did. And we were coming back, and she's like, can I tell you something? I'm like, you've known me since you birthed me. You can tell me whatever you want. And she said, I am so glad you're no longer in restaurants, because for the last few years, you have been I don't even know where my son went. There's some asshole living across the street who's always mad, always in a bad mood, and and so that's when your own mother tells you that recognize, because I thought I was pretty good about hiding how miserable I was and all that kind of stuff, but when you truly reflect at how much it changes you as a person doing something you don't like, and fortunate, I mean, it made us a good living. I don't have any regrets, but I don't live with regrets. But life is so much. I'm also a person of faith too, and I truly believe that you're in this world. You're supposed to meet certain people. That I believe in divine appointments. So I prayed for a release, but I also prayed on His terms that I was okay if I needed to spend 25 years there. I'm all right, because whatever His plan was for me. I never dreamed. I don't know that if I'd have quit earlier that I could be as happy as I am now. And I could not have designed and found something for myself this good. So it worked. It worked out pretty well for me.
So was there just like one day where you just kind of got fed up, where you're just like, all right, I've had it working at this restaurant, and I'm just like, I'm ready to put my 2 weeks notice in, and whatever happens, happens? Or did it just build up over time, or how did that go, man?
I was always the fixer. So yeah, I was either a district manager working on a district, or I was a general manager or a training manager trying to resurrect stores. And so I always had the worst stores. So it was always, I was always a rebuilding project for somebody, and it just wears you out. It is absolutely, 60, 70 hours a week for all that time wears you out. I just had enough. I'm like, I got to do something else. I didn't know what that was at the time, but I just finally reached that point.
Yeah. So do you have any advice if someone's a part-time reseller, if they're selling part-time on eBay or Amazon and they want to go full-time? Could you give them some advice or some pointers how they can start trending in that direction?
Yeah, don't do like me and just quit and go at it, because I'd like to tell you that I had some grand plan and I had put bills away and all that stuff. The only thing I did do is my wife's on disability, so this is a year after she, if you've ever known, even though she had already had 3 back surgeries and was staring another one down, it was an act of Congress. We had to have a lawyer get her disability, and so when she didn't go out, when she went without a salary for a year, we got rid of the 2 car payments, and we'd already cut our bills back. So that was one thing that truly helped. But understand that you still got bills to pay, and so start preparing yourself now. If that's a goal, figure out what it takes to get some of your debt load off. If you have debt, if you don't have debt, realistic look and see how much money you need to make, and understand the difference between the amount you sell versus the amount you make. I think a lot of new resellers. That's 2 different
numbers, isn't it, Scott?
I see it, and I think a lot of these new resellers just failed math or don't really understand the economics of business. You see them selling stuff for these low prices, free shipping, and you go, there's no money to be made. Even if they gave it to you for free. Excuse me, by the time you ship it, I mean, there's no way you're winning. And so understand how much profit and how much money you need. And and then prepare for the ups and downs, because you could have a great sales week this week and not one. So that it takes some discipline to really do it full time.
Yeah. I think sometimes these people are selling stuff at low prices. Sometimes I think they're just doing that just to try to get feedback and maybe have a new store or something. So I don't know, but I'm going to go ahead. I'm trying to catch up with some of the questions in the chat. Someone wanted to know, what are your thoughts on selling on Poshmark? Have you tried the platform? Do you like it or hate it? What's your thoughts on it?
I think as well, if I'd sold clothes, I'd be on it for sure. I just, the first 6 months in eBay taught me that I wasn't a clothing seller. If you're buying clothing and stuff from Goodwill, you got to have an eye you got to know what's in fashion and what people. You also got to have. The part that I screwed up was, I'd get home, my wife would go, "You saw that stain, or you saw that this or that." I was not very good at that part of it, so I quickly transitioned into hard goods. But if I had any fashion sense, I see a lot on Instagram, a lot of these ladies that and gentlemen too that do very, very well on Poshmark, and if I was any kind of good at that stuff, I would, but that's, a lot of it's playing to your strengths. I know electronics very well, so I transitioned to electronics. That's that
Okay.
on eBay. That's my preferred, you know, kitchen electronics. I still to this day, although at the flea market, I did buy. I got to get them out of the van. I did buy some clothes. Um, I do know whenever you find Harley Davidson uniform shirts for $10, still in the bags, brand new. I still know that's a good deal. So I did pick up all 5 of those. But
All right, good. I'm going to try to catch up with the questions in the chat. Someone wanted to know, what is your best score from garage/yard sales? I don't know if they just mean today or this week or ever all time. They just said, what's your best score from a garage sale/yard sale?
so that gym fastener was one of the better ones. Another one, at a yard sale, I picked up a Sony. It's one of the 300 disc changers, and it was new in the box, never been out, still sealed. I picked it up for $30. I sold it for 900 on Amazon. There are a lot of little scores to the years. I love the dollars. That I found a watch for $1. I ended up selling for a couple hundred. There are a lot of, I'm not very good with jewelry, so I don't know gold as well. So I don't have any stories of finding gold or whatever. But it's eBay and yard sales and stuff is a lot of buy it for 5, 50, 60, 70 are huge wins to me, because that's something you can repeat. So.
All right. Next person in the chat, they said, what do you think of the toy market in the fourth quarter with import problems, plenty of stock or scarce? I guess they're asking about the toy market in the fourth quarter, and what is your plans for ramping up in the fourth quarter in general? Like, do you have plans? Are you going to try to list more items, or when you ramp up for fourth quarter, like, what is your process getting ready for that?
I think the initial wave is there's inventory to last the first wave. But I think once we get into December, you're going to see the effects of the supply chain. And I think by 8th, 9th of December, there's going to be lots of opportunity. There's going to be stuff that's been out of stock, because they're, getting through Black Friday is going to be a disaster. Depends on how much they loosen up this economy. Trying to wear a mask and all that crazy mess is going to be, the one thing I know that I'm going to do different is I'm definitely going to merchant fulfill a lot. Because the one thing we learned last year is Amazon, when they say, December 3rd, have all your inventory in by December 3rd, we're not receiving any after that. Everybody went, yeah, right. You've said that before. Last year, December 3rd, they took all their receiving warehouse people on the 4th, and they went to getting inventory out. So, there's a fulfilled by merchant. There's a big opportunity. Same thing with eBay. I think this is going to be the opportunity to make a lot of money for a reseller is going to be tremendous. If you're willing to do the shipping in the middle 2 weeks of December, I think that 2 week period could be some of the best that we've seen.
All right, guys. Hey, guys, we're live with Bearded Picker. We asked him earlier. He said that so far, all the way up to July, he said he's basically doubled his sales from last year up to this point. So a person in the chat, they said, how many items do I need to have to start making sales like 5 a day? They currently have 106 items, mostly toys. Can't get many sold at all. I only have 31 items sold in the past 12 months. I assume they're talking about eBay. Can you give this person some advice on how they can get more sales?
Yeah, the one thing you've got to do, eBay has an algorithm just like Amazon does, and they reward you for activity if your account is active. And so, okay, so say if I want to list 100 items this week, you're way better off listing them 20 items 5 days a week than you are doing all 100 in one day, because that you have that activity, and then it'll slowly fade. You got to realize eBay rewards you with the first couple of days of new listings, first 48 hours, you get what they call everybody refers to as a new listing bump in search. Your items show up faster. So, if you've got that many items on, the chances are, even if you're competitive with price, the items are stale. The listings are stale, not the items. The one thing I can tell you is think about relisting. Think about uh, ending all those and then doing a relist on those items. You'll be amazed how many more you sell. I got a buddy named Dusty, Alabama picker, who every 30 to 40 days, he's got 3,000 listings, ends them all, relist them, and you can see the impressions. You can go through the traffic tab and see the amazing results. You know, are you using what is it? The all eBay systems? Are you promoting your items? Um, because I was talking with him today, and he had an issue where he missed some promotions, and he didn't catch it for 2 days. And you can see the impressions, the traffic on his channel go from like this. It just nosedive. It went down to like a third. He's like, no wonder I hadn't sold anything in the last 2 days. If your items are not getting in front of people, they're never going to sell.
Right. So do you recommend they list more items? Because to me, it says that he said he had 31 items sold in the past 12 months, and he has 106 items listed. I think you just need to list more items, honestly, because if you only have 106 items listed, let's say you sell 1% a day. Okay. If you have, so 1% a day, if you have 1,000 items listed at 1%, that would be how much? What is that, like maybe 10 sales a day?
Yeah, 10 sales a day. Yeah.
Yeah, so I would say I would try to ramp up your listings. If you can get up over the 1,000 mark, look, right now, eBay is giving you free listings in select categories. If you missed my video, I'll drop a link down below. They're giving you free listings, so you have zero risk. Find items that's in that select categories and start listing. I've been listing every day this month. I've been listing 100 items every single day on my eBay store, my main eBay store. Amazing. Yeah, but they're all media items. They're items like this. So all I have to do is scan the little barcode right here. See the barcode? And then I just hit sell similar and then throw it up there, and then you can crank them out. So if you do that, let's say if you list 100 items a day and each one just sells for $10 a piece, now you're cranking out $1,000 a day worth of merchandise times 30 days. You just put up $30,000 worth of merchandise on the platform. And it's brand new merchandise, new in the shrink wrap. How are you not going to make sales? Anyways, I'm going to try to get caught up on the comments. Mr. Buys a Lot, thank you guys for coming and hanging out. He asked a question. He said, hey, Bearded Picker, do you ever get a vacation? It's a holiday, and I'm sitting here packing 146 orders in the past 2 days.
I do. I generally take a day off a week. It's not always the same day. Generally, I don't do a lot on Sunday. I'll mess around more with YouTube on Sundays than I do anything else. But with we have a new puppy now, so it's hard to go anywhere. So I generally just, I try in the evenings too to spend time with my wife. We do dinner or something, whether she's cooking or whatever. So I try to spend, a couple, 3 hours in the evenings, away from the computer.
Okay. Does she just like cut you off and say a certain time you need to drop it off, or do you just have like date night with your wife once a week, or how does that work, Bearded Picker? I'm not married, so you got to give me some pointers here, bro. You got to help me out.
I've been married a long time, so she doesn't care how long I stay out here. She does not resell or really enjoy resell at all, but she's very supportive of me, and she knows that if I tell her I can walk in there right now and say, hey, I found something in Walmart, I'm gonna go hit all of them tonight. She doesn't care. Even just make sure you're careful. I mean, I get that speech, but she's very supportive of anything I want to do, anything I want to try. That's it's nice if you have a spouse or a significant other that helps in the business, but it's just equally important if that's not their thing, that they support you very well. And so
that's true. I've heard of people having spouses and they're like, oh, well, you spent money on buying merchandise instead of spending money on me. You're spending time listing items instead of spending time with me. So I could see that being a problem if you're not on the same page. Someone in the chat, they want to know, they said, I'm sorry, I'm trying to scroll up in the chat. Let's see what they said. They asked the question. They said, what is your thoughts on bulk? The website bulk where you buy big lots of stuff. What's your thoughts on that?
Never actually bought one. So the reason why one of the big things that I like about Amazon is selling new merchandise, so you don't have to clean it, fix it, test it. It doesn't take the time that an eBay item takes for the most part for me. So I don't have any problem finding items for eBay. And I would not sell items that from liquidation on Amazon because you don't have chain of custody. And what I mean by that is, there, say there's an IP claim, you can use a Walmart receipt to prove that you got the item from Walmart, and the supply chain normally goes through Walmart. Amazon is fine with that. But once it hits a vendor like a bulk, they don't accept the bulk invoice as proof of purchase because it's gone through other hands. So the supply chain has been there's no, the custody of your inventory has taken a hit. So that
I haven't
people make money. People make lots of money on it, and they do well. If that's your thing,
yeah.
You've got to be you. Don't start with the smaller ones. Don't be scared not to do it just because I don't do it.
Right.
I mean, there's people that are on a TV show now doing this. I'd be careful now because the lots of stuff are probably gonna get more expensive, and there's gonna be more people trying to buy these things because of the TV show. But
yeah,
there's nothing wrong with it. There's lots of them out there via traders. There's quite a few different places you can get that kind of merchandise.
Right. So, have you bought like big liquidation or pallets in the past? I've looked for some, and they're either way overpriced. Like I've had some, and they want $2,000 for one pallet. Not 10 pallets, not for a down payment on a house. Just to get one pallet, they wanted $2,000, and I just didn't see there being enough profit. I have to get to the $2,000 mark just to break even on one pallet. And the guy's telling me how much this stuff is worth, and I'm looking in there and saying, bro, there's no way. Like I couldn't even pay you half of that. So I just haven't been able to find a good range. Either it's a bunch of junk that I don't want, or it's way overpriced. So where do you usually go to go get the merchandise? Like where does your places that you like to go sourcing at besides yard sales? Do you like to go to thrift stores? Do you go to Goodwills? Do you like to go to do you like to do a lot of RA? Like what is your strategy, Bearded Picker?
So far you hit all of them. For Amazon, I do a lot of RA. I've been to a lot of Walmarts and Walgreens, but it doesn't matter the store. If there's opportunity there, I'll chase it through any store. That doesn't matter. Love yard sales. Love auctions. I mean, all the ways a source. I've done them all. We don't have a lot of great auctions here. For merchant, bigger wholesale box lot auctions. So it's generally yard sales. Thrift stores are not wonderful here either. So
yeah.
So I have not done. I'll stop if I go buy one, but I don't go out of my way in Huntsville. But once I leave town, though, I stop at as I'm doing RA, I stop at a lot of thrift stores and stuff, just because I've made the effort to get there. I'll just stop and see what they've got.
Right. Okay. Mr. Buys Lot, he said, "How do you feel about Amazon return pallets?" Bearded Picker, he wants to know.
It'd be the same as bulk. It's. That one is, you already know that there's somebody sent it back, so you're gonna have to test every item. That's the issue of being one person. There are people who do that very well. Resale Rabbit, I don't know how many of y'all follow him, but he'll buy truckloads of pallets, and he's got a big warehouse. They go through it. He's got employees that go through. After working in restaurants 25 years, I do everything I can not to have employees. People go, you could be so much bigger. You can do this. You've got to be happy with yourself. You got to be happy in your own skin. You've got to understand what you want out of this deal. I don't want to build a big company. I don't want employees. I don't want to be tied down to that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Go ahead, Bearded Picker. Go ahead.
So
I was going to.
If you're happy with if you're happy with what you do, that's the most, to me, that's the most important part. So that's why the other reason I don't do pallets and stuff either, because it's just me, and that would really take a lot of time.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm the same way. I have a big shed in the backyard, and I've got a big 5-bay garage in my backyard, and that's included in my rent. So I don't want to have to pay an extra storage fee every month. I don't want to have to pay extra employees because, if I do that, if I have a bad month in sales, my employees still got to be paid. They don't care if you have a bad month in sales. They still got to eat. They still got bills they got to pay. So as of right now, if I can hustle and list, 100 items a day, what if I decided at that point where I want to go and hire an employee. So I'm going to scroll back through, see if I missed any questions. Hey, Flippin' Accountant. Hey, Turtle. Hey, Mr. Buys a Lot. Thank you guys for hanging out. We're live. So if you want to ask questions of Bearded Picker, drop it in the chat. Someone said, what TV show? They said they don't watch TV much. I think he's talking about the A&E show, right?
Yeah, A&E Extreme Unboxing. I don't know what night it comes on. I haven't seen it. But it's a big show with Steve and Steph on it.
Yeah, I saw Walter was in there. I talked to him on his live stream yesterday. I think he was on the show. Hey, Carolina Hustler. Hey, guys.
He is. If y'all want to follow someone who does pallets and is very Walter, man, WBK, he's an outstanding guy. I love his personality, man. He is crazy, and I think he goes live Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays in the afternoons. So he's someone that takes a lot of questions and can really help people that have questions with pallets. Walter Knobloch, if you subscribe to his channel, he's a good dude.
Yeah, I was just in his live stream yesterday hanging out, and sometimes he looks at me like I'm stupid. He's like, are you trying to prank call me or something? Like, dude, I'm asking questions. I don't know, bro. I'm not trying to get on your nerves, but I think it's just when you have, 70, 80,000 subscribers and you got people asking you questions all day long, it probably just gets under your nerves. So, hey, Bearded Picker, I want to ask you a couple of questions about YouTube, because you got like what, $70,000 or 70,000 subscribers on YouTube now. Now, how did you go from 0 to 70,000? Like, how long have you been on YouTube now? And if someone's starting a YouTube channel and they're trying to get to that point, how do they go about doing that? Can you give us 2 or 3 tips on YouTube? Because you're like a YouTube star now, bro. Some of your videos have millions of views. Did you know that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I had 6,000 or 7,000 subscribers. I forget what the number was when that Monopoly video went nuts. It added 30,000.
I saw that video.
And the secret to why it helped me so much is because I'd been making videos a couple years before that. So there was a lot of videos and a lot of my work that I had done that people were able to go back. So it lifted a lot of the videos up behind it. So that worked out very nice. The one thing is just, it's never too late to start. You can go ahead and start today. Turn the camera on. It doesn't matter. I know ladies get a beating for, people will nitpick women before, me and you're just two dudes. Nobody says anything about me. Every now and then they'll say my hair grows upside down or whatever, but they make no comments about how we look or anything. So for ladies, I know it's a lot more difficult, but everybody has a point of view. Even if you're newer, people can learn from you, and just focus on what you do and be genuine. People can tell a person who is fake and is doing this. If your goal is to make money on YouTube, people sniff that out pretty quick, and they'll figure that out. But that big video, and then I spent a year of doing a video a day, and that really helped build a lot of consistency in the channel. So that got me to the first 7,000 or 8,000, and I was still doing that even after the big video. So that really pushed me up into the 50s and 60s. Was very consistent. People want to know when you're going to have a video, when they can expect it. I'm not as good at that anymore, just because life has gotten a little crazy. But
does that ever blow your mind where you look at a video and you've got 1 million or 2 million views on one of your videos? Do people come up to you out in public or something? Do they recognize you, or how does that work? Because I'm just wondering, like, I just crossed the 1,000 subscriber mark last week, and I just looked up, and it's kind of it's kind of unnerving. Are you cool with it? I mean, I know you're cool on camera, but do people come up to you out in public? Do they recognize you, or how does that work? Do you get a lot of emails? Do you get a lot of comments?
Yes, all that. I love meeting people. People need to understand. I try to tell them when I'm not on camera, I'm an introvert. I don't go out on my way to talk to people. If there's a big party, I'll be the dude in the corner and whatever. But if I know people, no issues. But I generally am not that outgoing. So, but it's wonderful to meet people. It's rare that I go on any of these trips that I don't meet at least a couple. Last trip was to Michigan, and I was in a little bitty town in Michigan at a Walgreens, and Walgreens, and somebody turned around the register and they started walking towards me after they'd already paid, and I'm like, I bet this guy's a subscriber. Sure enough, he was a nice guy. It was very. I was just up. Nobody knew where I was. I was just up wandering through Michigan, and it happened at the flea market this past Friday. It happens a lot, but it's cool that the one big thing people will tell you is, you've really helped me out. You've had an impact on helping me get started in this, and that's my whole goal of making YouTube videos is I feel blessed what I do. I love what I do, and so if I can help other people take charge in their own life and find a way to do this and accomplish their own goals and be their own boss, and
Yeah.
let them take charge of their life. I wish I'd learned it earlier. I wish I'd have been, if I'd been doing this in the early 2000s and when FBA first hit, man, I'd be rich.
How long have you been on YouTube now?
Starting in 2015.
Right, really? Okay. So it just takes time. I think it takes time. It doesn't just happen overnight. It takes time, right?
Yeah, I've got around 600 videos on 2 channels.
Oh yeah. So what made you start your second channel, your live stream channel? What made you start that?
Once you get a certain number of subscribers in a size channel, you notice the way YouTube works is a live show has a short lifespan. A lot of people will watch it. You get a lot of watch minutes, but then most people are like me. If I don't catch it live, I generally don't watch the replay of it.
Yeah.
Where if it's a made video, I'll watch them. And so it's the way the way eBay pushes videos out is it seems that the more lives you do, and I was doing lives, 2 a week, still do 2 a week, and it was making the regular videos not get the same push, and so I separated all the lives to the live channel in order to help the regular videos get more views and more publicity.
Yeah, it seems like you enjoy yourself. Sometimes you see me, I'll pop into your live streams and stop by and hang out sometimes. So that's good. So it sounds like you enjoy yourself doing that. Somebody said they like your shirt. So, Bearded Picker, I want to ask you a few questions about eBay. I watched your video a while back, and you talked about putting your items on promoted listings. Some people are for promoted. Some people hate it. I myself put all my items 1% promoted listings. I think it helps. But I think I noticed probably maybe 50% of my items sell through promoted listings. What say you? What do you think about promoted listings? Do you love them or hate them?
Both. I hate to give them money, but I love the sales that come from it. And if you do some of the math and look at the amount you're spending for the sales that come through, it's a no-brainer. You've got to promote. I mean, if they're going to put it out there and somebody's with the same items going to get an advantage of you by using promoted listings when you didn't, it's silly. I've done the 1% for most items. If I've got stuff that's like, I want a lot more publicity, I will go higher. Like I had a computer that I sold over the weekend, and it said the you got to watch that suggested average or whatever. They said it was like 26%. It was going to be over $100. I'm like, y'all are nuts, and I dropped it to like 3%. So
well. Yeah, I do all mine 1% because the thing is, guys, you got to understand, okay, this item right here that I have in my hand, there could literally be 200 people on eBay selling the same exact item, same price, same condition, same everything. And if your item is on the back page of the search engine, no one sees your item for sale, it's not going to sell. But if you can go ahead and get your item and get it promoted listings and it show up on the first page of the listings, you're going to get more eyeballs on that item. And then it's more eyes, more views are going to lead to more sales. So that's just what I do personally. I just do 1% promoted listings, and it works out for me by doing that. So you what do you promote all your items or just certain ones?
I promote them all. The one thing I'll tell you, if you notice, start looking at listings. A lot of people are following this model now is, if you're concerned about the cost, add that cost in. So if it's something that's selling for $20, you'll be amazed. You can promote it at even 1% over the promoted and charge extra money, and you'll be at the top and people click on it. It's the Amazon effect. They find something they find is a reasonable price. Not everybody's a bargain shopper. Not everybody. You'll be amazed that just because somebody's selling at 20 doesn't mean you can't sell it for 25. Don't be afraid to try different things with your listings and your prices. You'll be amazed what'll sell and for what prices just for using promoted listings to get there first. Right.
Yeah. Some people, they just in a hurry. They're like, okay, my kid wants this present for their birthday or Christmas or whatever it is. And the first listing they see, they click on it. It's like, okay, it's a new condition. They click on it and put it in cart. Even if someone else might have it for 5, you might have it listed for 12 or 15 or 10. They might click your item first. So, anyways, Bearded Picker, I don't want to keep you too much longer. I know you got items that you got to list today, and you got stuff to do. So we'll let you go with that here in about 10 minutes. Is that cool? I just wanted to ask you. I just wanted to ask you a few questions. So, if someone right now, if they've been watching your videos, they've been hanging out, they've been selling part time, but they're thinking about switching to being a full time reseller. They want to sell full time on Amazon and eBay. Give them two or three good tips of things that they need to know, because not everybody can do that. Not everybody can just say, hey, you know what? Peace out. Here's my 2 weeks notice. I'm quitting my job and I'm leaving. How do they go about doing that?
Okay, so the one thing I'll tell you is you need to make sure that you have a way to find the inventory, because in order to sell $100,000 worth of something, you've got to buy enough inventory to support that. And I don't think people think it through. The biggest thing is you really have to understand that the biggest transition I think people struggle with is, if you're structured and your boss is telling you to do this, this, and this, all of a sudden you have to take on that role. And so you need to come up with, even somebody like me who has done it for quite a few years now. The last few weeks I've been trying to work on making myself a schedule, because I'll do very good at eBay, and then Amazon will suffer. I'll do very good at Amazon, eBay will suffer. And YouTube seems to flounder because I'm working so much on the other two, so I'm trying to divide the days where I at least spend so much time for each one, so that, because it is very difficult to run two platforms, and then it's very difficult to stay disciplined. If you're the kind of person that motivates yourself and that kind of stuff, man, you're ahead of the game already. Not everybody's wired that way. And so, understand, you take a hard look at who you are and how you work and how you tick, and make plans to, if you've always had, because you don't understand until it happens. If you've always had a boss and it's been very disciplined and regimented for you, you've got to figure out a way to put that in your life, or all of a sudden the free time, people, I don't know why I'm not selling anything, and they're in every live chat all day. You see the same people over and over, and they'll be the first one to tell you, I think eBay's slow. I think your effort is not there.
It's funny. I just put out a video yesterday talking about the same thing, as how I get emails from people saying they want to make, 100,000 a year, but then their effort and their mindset is 30,000 a year. If you're not willing to put forth the effort and put out, a massive amount of taking action and a massive amount of energy into something, it's going to flatline. You're putting flatline energy, so I just talked about that on my video yesterday. So, Beard, I appreciate you for hanging out. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
I was just going to tell you, I can tell you right now that if you're thinking that this is going to be easier, or you're going to work less, I mean, you're going to find yourself working harder. You're going to find yourself, but if you're like us, I love this. I don't even notice I'm working as much as I do, just because, when you're doing what you absolutely love, it doesn't feel like work, but you need to understand that it's not going to be a 40-hour job. Some weeks might be 60 or 70. People, the one problem with the YouTubers and stuff is, you only see what we allow you to see. So you see a lot of the good times. You don't see the struggles. And, the one thing, some of the best advice I think I give people is really to have some people around you that you can talk to. This is a lonely business. You know, 4 or 5 people that they don't have to live near you. I just happen to have a couple here in town that live near me that I talk to a lot. But there's 2 or 3 others. One lives in Massachusetts. I talk to him every day, well, except for the day I got to call him. But it's, have a support group around you, people that you can ask questions, that can motivate you, that can inspire you, and that you can do the same for others in that same group. It's amazing. The camaraderie you can have. You can't be fearful. They're gonna know what I sell. Man, none of that stuff matters.
Right. So you want to have a good support group, and you need to have like discipline. You need to have like a set schedule of when you work and all that. So I got a couple questions for you about Amazon, because I'm not on the Amazon platform. When you're out there doing RA, how do you go about when you're picking items? You look at your sales rank on Amazon, and I know you look at the price, but what kind of margins are you looking at? Are you looking to say, okay, I'm going to buy this item for 5 and sell it for 15, or how does that work when you're doing retail arbitrage?
A lot of it depends on how much competition, how many people are on the listing, how many other sellers have it. Um, it's for me and personally, it's a sliding scale. The lower the rank goes, I can come off the margin a little bit because I know it's going to sell so fast. And so I'll, if I've got an item that's in the top 1%, I'll take a little less margin to sell it, to flip it so fast. Whereas if it's something that's got a higher rank that, for whatever reason, not a lot of people own it, not something that's available, it might take you a little longer to sell it. So I need to make more money on an item, but I'm a hold longer. And so I generally try to double up. That's the sweet spot for me is if you can, if I spend 10, you're going to make, you want to make the 10.
Right, but I'm trying to clarify. When you say double up, you mean after they take out shipping fees and Amazon fees and stuff, right? You're not talking, right?
Yeah. So if I bought it for 10, I want to make 10. So you got to sell it for at least 30.
Yeah.
Because chances of it's gotten harder to find something that if you buy it for 10, that you can buy a bunch of them and make the $20. But to really make 100%, you make the money you spent back is very doable. And so that's generally the goal, because you never know what's going to happen to the price or anything. So if you've got some room, I like to leave myself. I don't generally go below 50%. So, if I bought it for 10 and I'm not going to make at least 5, I generally walk away no matter what. It might be an item that I look at again, but it's not one that I would buy generally.
All right, cool. So give us your 2 or 3 tips, and then we'll get you out of here. 2 or 3 tips for people. Give us 2 good tips for YouTube, and then give us 2 or 3 good tips for reselling, and then we'll get you out of here, Bearded Picker. And you should come on the show and hang out with me again sometime, man. I really appreciate. I like hanging out with you, bro. Like you said, you were talking about the camaraderie. I like hanging out with other YouTubers that are like-minded people, and because when I'm standing in line, sometimes I'm at a pawn shop, and this guy sees me holding this item that I paid $0.25 for, and I'm going to sell for 10, 15, 20 bucks on eBay. He's just like, what are you buying that for? And I'm like, this ain't for me, buddy. I don't tell him that I'm reselling. Go ahead.
YouTube, understand it's, for most people, it's a long-term game. It's not an instant fame. It does happen, but it's rare. You got to make sure you love it. Understand that it's a lot of work. You see, like, live shows are pretty easy, but you don't see the part about, if it's a recorded video, generally I've got an hour or 2 hours in editing, and I'm not very good at it, but I'd get by. So understand the time commitment that takes, and get over your shyness. You
ain't got a choice. You ain't got a choice when that comes, right? Do you?
Yeah, you're just, a lot of people go, I don't want to turn the camera on, or, you hear that same thing. And the one thing in if it holds everybody back is fear. I used to talk about it a lot. How good could you do, and how many things could you accomplish if you just let fear go and not afraid to start YouTube just because that's what you want to do. That's what you're into. Go for it.
Now, Beard, you ain't had not one subscriber come out and bite you, have you? I mean, no one's went through the TV screen and bit you or anything like that yet, right?
No, but hell, I've been cussed out. I've been called everything. So what? I mean, I don't live my life according to their standards. So fear, especially in reselling too. Fear, scared to buy something. The old scared money don't make money is true, because when you're that nervous, you're very apprehensive. You're really trust what you know, trust what you see, and fear. Remove fear from your life. It's that doubt, that self-doubt and stuff is no good. You can rely on you, and very few friends. Sometimes friendships don't work out. You just keep moving. It's fear. If I can give anybody the more thing I can tell you is that the more you can lessen fear, the better you can be.
Awesome. And so you do you have a certain thing? Would you recommend uploading a certain number of videos a week or something? Or because I feel like you need to be. What I try to do is I try to collaborate. I try to be consistent, and then I just try to be myself, and the rest will work itself out in due time. We're not in a race. They don't. I'm not trying to win an award. They're not giving me no plaque or nothing for it. It's just something that's almost like a hobby, and we just enjoy hanging out talking to other resellers. And if we can help out some people along the way and answer their questions and help them make money, then it's a great day for everybody, right?
Oh yeah, there is no race. There is, consistency is the number one thing with YouTube. Like YouTube likes to see consistent. I watch a lot of van life because I don't know why that topic fascinates me. My brother's actually building a van. He's going to try to tour the country in. But a lot of those channels, do one video a week. Whatever you're going to do, stick to it. If you want to do 3 videos a week, do 3. If you want to do, but it's the consistency that your audience can understand. I know that I can see Scott or Jeff at this point. That'll have a substantial effect on your growth of your channel. Is this consistency which you deliver, and consistency in product, consistency in time. You'll be amazed how well that works.
All right, Beard. So, talk to me, Bearded Picker. Now, I'm a reseller. Now, how do I go about increasing my reselling business? I've hung out with Bearded Picker. I want to pick his brain. I want to figure out. Give me 2 or 3 top tips to help me make more money. Let's say I'm making $1,000 a month in sales. I'm trying to get to 10,000. How do I do that a month in sales on eBay or Amazon? How do we go about doing that?
You got to find more stuff. There's only a couple ways you can either increase your average price so you can find different products that make more money, or you can find more products making the same money. That's really only 2 ways you're going to increase. Whether that's through employees or through more effort for yourself or better processes. That's the one thing I focused on last year was better processes. The paper tape machine. I've got an air pillar machine. I've got a complete stock of boxes. Everything is within reach, so my shipping doesn't take as much time, so that I can focus on the more fun thing of going and getting more stuff or have more time to process when I come back. So I worked on efficiency last year. That's hard to translate into more sales, except for it gives me more opportunity to find more stuff. And so reinvest in your business. Reinvest. You'll be amazed the better your tools are. I'm one of those weird people that carries 2 phones, because when I'm scanning for Amazon, if I'm somewhere in the country the Verizon's no good, I've got AT&T in my pocket and vice versa. So my tools are, I've gotten through the years as I've learned, I've gotten better tools. And I think that's another key is invest in yourself, invest in your business. You'll be amazed. The more efficient you can be, the more things you can do, whether it's more personal time and make the same money, or whether it's more time to make more money. Whatever you choose is your personal choice.
So we need to get more items. We need to be more efficient in our processes. And my thing is, you need to list more items, guys. You can go shopping all day long or go home and get 100 items and put it in your death pile. But guess what? You ain't making no more sales sitting in the closet. You got to list it. If I'm searching for this item and you ain't got it listed, it's not going to sell. I promise you that. You got to get it listed, right?
It's never going to sell. Don't be afraid to try things different too, because if you watch some of my earlier videos, me and Dusty and several of them we're old guys, and we would tell you, I don't know how these young people use phones and stuff. Man, I can list so much faster on a computer. And I guess 6 months ago, I'm like, I put a couple of them on my phone. I'm like, well, I'll be damned. I like listening on my phone. I am much faster because of my ADHD, or I don't get a lot of things. I'll start a project and never end it. With the phone and doing a listing, you finish each listing pretty damn quick. And it was amazing how much that transformed my ability to list better on eBay by switching from listing from a computer just to doing everything on a phone. So don't be afraid to try things different. The way my mind works and the way I'm wired, I can't believe how much better the phone. I should have known. I should have been able to think that through, but I was stubborn and doing it the way I'd always done it. You'd be amazed how much better you can be So instead of now of listing 3 or 4 items and having like 30 pictures for other stuff that I never get to, now I'll have 10 items that I've completed instead of the 2 or 3. It's absolutely amazing how much faster I am with a phone than a computer.
Yeah, I list my items on my cell phone as well. It works a lot better for me, especially when I'm scanning barcodes, because I can just scan the barcode, hit it, sell similar. What items is it that you're out here hunting and looking for when you're trying to sell something on eBay or Amazon? I know you said electronics. Is there any other 2 or 3 items that you're specifically looking for, or are you just trying to find anything you can get?
I'll find anything I can get. A lot of people complain about the size of like VCRs and that kind of stuff. So I'll generally really look at some of the larger stuff because I've got boxes that are specifically for these things. I've made it easier on myself to ship a VCR. A lot of people will say, but they're too big, or I had one that when I tested it, it was no good. People are scared to throw something away. It was a $5 VCR. It's in the trash can. So what? Printers are the same way. Right now, printers are real hot. You'd be amazed the money you can get for a used printer right now. Oh, right. But how are you going to test that? I'm going to plug it into that computer back there and let Windows 10 download the drivers and try to print something.
All right. Well, hey, Scott, you've been really helpful today, and I appreciate you hanging out with me. We've been live for an hour, guys, already. So if you missed it, you can go back and watch the replay. We've been answering viewer questions in the chat. We've been hanging out. Scott's been really gracious with his time hanging out with us. And I hope you come back again soon, man, maybe in a month or so, or maybe once this whole Christmas fourth quarter thing passes, we'll have you back on. You can come back and hang out with us. Give us your final thoughts, Bearded Picker.
Yeah, just shoot me an email, and I'm the world's worst about looking at it, but you hit me an Instagram and email, I'll find one of them.
Yeah.
The only thing holding you back is fear. It's just, I'm afraid to do this. Instead of asking the questions, what do I need to do this? Most of us don't have all the answers, but you search in Google for most general stuff, or any of these internet search engines, you'll be amazed how there's a video out there somewhere. Somebody's told you how to test this, test that. You'll be amazed. I've got this. What does this remote go to? There's a number on it. Google will look this up pretty quick and tell you what the hell it went to. You'll be amazed if instead of being afraid, scared to do something, if you put in just a little bit of effort, you'll be amazed the amount of things that you can accomplish.
All right, great, awesome. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out with me. I want to thank my guest, Bearded Picker, for hanging out with me. He's been great hanging out with you and catching up with you. By the way, Bearded Picker, I told you, you are one of my favorite YouTubers, so keep that in mind, buddy. And I appreciate you, and we, the people in the community, appreciate you, man. And we're gonna see you again soon. All right, thanks, guys. Absolutely. Thanks for hanging out. You guys have a great night and have a great weekend. We'll catch you on the next one. All right, bye.